All right, look at this. Yes, U.S. Army is actually back making a second video, not just saying he's going to start some new video series and then just disappear again for, what, 6 months, a year, not show up on the podcast, anything along those lines. And to make episode 2 even better of the Gamers Rant, I brought the one, the only, Mr. DLB.
What is it? It's us, U.S. Army and myself. We're going to get into the WiiU, that is. So,
Yeah, that is the topic for my second episode, and if you read the actual caption, it is episode 2, what should you do? Not the WiiU. And that is actually why we brought Mr. DLB onto the show this week, because, one, he can get me more hits, let's be honest. And two, nah, we're all part of DLB-network. And two, he's actually got a lot of stuff to say positive for the WiiU, and he's actually pretty interested in the console itself, and maybe with hopes of picking one up.
yeah, I'm here to keep the balance in the video, so there's not too much hate for the WiiU, because you guys, boy, US, he's not a big fan of the WiiU. But I mean, so why do you feel? I mean, should people get the WiiU? How do you feel?
All right, well, I guess I'll just kick it off real quick. I mean, I was going to say I should have brought Snake in here because he obviously would have been on your side for this one. So, the WiiU. First time we saw it, we're going to go back. We saw ourselves with, some tech demos just coming out with pretty much a new controller is what they were advertising as their new selling feature for this next console. Nintendo has always made the first Wii more adaptable and more open to the casual gamer, bringing markets to the gaming world that was never there before, thus being children, families, grandparents, whatever. And they killed it. The sales don't lie. As much as, the hardcore gamers like me and you might not play Call of Duty and that type of thing on it, they opened up a new market and they went in their own direction and it paid off.
Call of Duty on the Wii is the best Call of Duty I've ever played.
I mean, using that infrared pointer is awesome, right?
Very accurate.
But going into the Wii U, this is where my original question comes in. And I believe this is where there's a gray area as whether or not Nintendo actually has a direct direction they're trying to follow, or if they're trying to cover multiple biases here. Obviously, they got the casual market unlocked. Obviously, Microsoft has taken a huge dent out of them with the Kinect, and they're trying to do something else here to bring that back. That being said, that was their main selling feature, being the controller, the gamepad, which has a screen on it, a tablet-esque type controller with a single touch, not multi-touch, single touch screen, so pointer finger. Okay, we can do that. No, I'm sorry, that just blows my mind. But the Wii U, when they're advertising at E3, this most previous, the main things they showed off were obviously the ones that gamers at E3 were going to be there to see, whether it's Batman Arkham City, Assassin's Creed 3, I mean, now most recently announced exclusive Bayonetta 2. What did you do? But they did show the regular stuff. They did the Wii Sport, or did the Wii Fitness, a different iteration of that now. They had the Rayman they showed off. They were still trying to go with a lot more of the casual markets there. But my biggest issue is, let's see both sides, hardcore and casual. First, starting with hardcore. Me and you, DLB. What is the selling feature for me to actually go pick up this next-gen console that the games that they're pushing are current-gen games that have actually been out for a year that I can have on my PlayStation 3 or Xbox, whether it's Mass Effect 3, Batman Arkham City 2, Batman Arkham City, that type of thing. And then upcoming releases like Assassin's Creed 3, which is still coming out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, still going to pretty much have the exact same look and feel to the game. The only minor differences might be something to do with the actual tablet controller, but when they showed off stuff like it was in Batman, it was like a little map of an overhead map, which is usually on your top right of your screen, and being able to just to click to choose a weapon selection rather than just clicking a button. To me, I don't need to go spend another $300, $350 to play almost the same games that I've already played in the past, or the same games that I will still be able to receive for the next year here in the future. Also knowing, as a hardcore gamer, that the next Xbox and the next PlayStation will be coming out, which there will be new advances in technology and graphics and power. We all know that, where they'll jump ahead of the Wii U significantly again. But there also will be new features, selling points. We already know smart glass is coming out for Xbox, which is similar to the Wii U, as well as the PS Vita having much more iterations interpreted with the PS3, but that's not really comparable. So my question to you, DLB, what, as a hardcore gamer, why should you go get this thing then? Because I can play those games now, not spend $300, and then in a year, this console is going to look almost, last gen when it comes to power. I understand they're going to have that tablet feature, but there'll be new features on both the Sony and Microsoft consoles. So why do you want this thing?
Oh, is it my turn? Oh.
Hey.
Fall asleep here.
Take the stage.
No, see, this is the thing. It's everything you just said is basically similar to what they did with the Wii, and it just blew Microsoft and Sony, as far as sales go, out of the water. Like we can see, obviously consumers don't care about visuals or the power of a console. Sony's the most powerful console out of the three, and they're dead last in sales. Well, at least last time I checked. I don't know. I know them and Microsoft have been going back and forth, but still, the weaker consoles sold more and were technically more powerful. But that's a whole other topic. I think focusing on the launch lineup for any console is the wrong thing to do. If anybody was to focus on the launch lineup of the Vita, then people should be throwing their Vitas away right now. So the launch lineup is, some of the games they're basically showing you the potential of what the console has to offer. So yes, it's offering games that have already came out or games that you can get right now on your current gen systems. I don't think Nintendo would argue that fact. But also for some of these games that they are getting a lot of exclusive content, or they're getting, the DLC that you have to pay for on the current gen consoles for free. But be that as it may, these are just launch titles, just to get them off the ground, just to launch with the console. Their thing is to get games next to their console to sell. A lot of the people who are buying the Wii U, they probably don't have a PS3 or Xbox 360. They own a Wii already. Mm-hmm. As far as a hardcore gamer, the main reason a hardcore gamer would get it is because you're a hardcore gamer. So you like games, whether it's casual, whether it's hardcore, what have you. Or somebody like me who, I have my two hardcore consoles, but, I need that family console, for the family to play. Now, I heard you say that the Kinect kind of ate into their market. Not too much. The Kinect is doing well, but it's not doing that well. It's doing well. It's doing better than the Move, but it's definitely not doing what the Wii did, because the Wii...
It was a couple of circumstances on both sides. Both Nintendo pretty much cut. I mean, when was the last time a big Nintendo, especially Nintendo game, has come out? Like, you going into a retail store at GameStop or working at one, you don't sell anything Nintendo anymore. But that's because they're moving into the transition phase, and that's where it's not really a fair comparison saying that the Kinect took a market, because you're right. It was just timing.
Right. So, and then you have with the Wii U, I know that you say, well, it's just an extra screen. What are you going to do with the extra screen? Nintendo was the first to launch or show any of that, as far as having their console, having a TV screen, and then an additional screen on the controller. And then the following year, what does Microsoft announce? Mm-hmm. Smart glass. So it's honestly a direction that the gaming industry is going in. I definitely understand it, because I can't tell you how many times I'm playing a game and I pick up my smartphone or I pick up my tablet to look something up. If they find a way to integrate that into the controller, into smart glass, things like that, not having to push pause because you have an additional screen to select different items that you have to select in the pause menu. You know, so basically what they're trying to do is prevent you from leaving the experience of the game and just always having that experience with you. So there won't be the only time you have to pause the game is to literally pause the game and go do something. And I think that what that second screen is there to do is to assist the developers with keeping you constantly immersed in the game so you don't have to use that pause button. So if you're going to pull out, so if it's Resident Evil and you need to get some herbs to get your energy back, well, you can just tap on your herbs right there on the screen without going into the pause menu or literally leaving the game action and going into your inventory, things like that. One of the biggest features, though, that I find with this is the fact that now, all my married men and boyfriends and fiancés and engaged people will understand this. How many times, I can't tell you how many times my wife is like, "Oh, you going in your game room again to play a game? I wish you would just sit here with me on the couch." That Wii U is definitely going to fill that void because you being able to take the game off the screen and put it on that Wii U tablet screen, you're still going to be, because that's all women want. They just want you to be in the environment. They want you to be there sitting next to them. So, I mean, that's a plus. Or if it's kids and there's only one TV in the house and the Wii U is connected to the TV in the living room and the kids don't have a TV in their room. And your parents, I'm coming home, I'm ready to watch the Niners game. Go Niners. I'm ready to watch the Niners game, and my daughter's like, "Hey, I want to play the Wii U." Okay, well, she can still play it. She just has to play it on that smaller tablet screen. So there's a few different ways that this, and then these developers are going to do stuff that can't even fathom right now. So I think the Wii U is going to be fine. The fact that it's releasing a year early works in their advantage, because that's why they're selling it at the higher price point. And then as soon as Nintendo, or as soon as Sony and Microsoft creep into the scene, you're going to see a crazy price drop. So they're going to go into the Christmas market a second year in a row as the cheapest console. Right now they're going in as the only next gen. Next time around they're going to go in as the cheapest. And we all know people love to save money. So.
Oh yeah. Now, you did touch on, I do have to agree completely. The Nintendo fans that play Nintendo exclusives will always buy this console, regardless. And the other thing you mentioned, though, is the casual gaming, which you explained it as this time around with the Wii versus the PlayStation 3 and the 360 is far less superior when it comes to power, graphics, all that stuff. But what sold it was opening the casual door to the gaming world and opening new experiences to people of all ages and people that didn't normally play video games.
Right.
Now that's where I think my argument comes in for the Wii U, though. And that's where I did, originally I was asking you as a hardcore gamer, why should you buy it? And I understand the hardcore gamers that get every console, sure, they'll get it. I know the hardcore Nintendo guys will get it because you'll be able to play Mario 98 and Mario Party 62 and all that good stuff. But now, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice to play some Smash Bros and stuff. But you said saving money is nice. So there's the hardcore gamer like me and you that might not be able to get all three consoles, at least not both within the years that they both release, and expect to be able to get them all.
Hey, you buy Nintendo, you have a year to save. Hey. Whereas when Microsoft and Sony come out, you got two that you got to try and afford.
But that's my whole argument. The games they're coming out with, and then I agree, you can't really judge it on launch lineup. But games coming out at launch. Out of all the ones that were really shown, I really was only really interested in Rayman, which got pushed back, and Zombie U. And the reason why Zombie U was the only one was it's really one of the only titles coming out that I truly believe utilizes that controller to its full. I mean, obviously over the years it's going to grow with developers, but at launch I believe it's the only one to actually utilize it. And even saying that, I can't see myself dropping $60 on Zombie U. That's a game I'll maybe put $30 down on, because it's almost like a Left 4 Dead type of game where I can pick it up, play that type of thing. I believe they said all Wii U games are gonna be $60.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So now maybe there'll be select pricing like the Vita has, where some will be 40, some will be 30. Maybe Zombie U will be $50 rather than 60. Right. But I still don't want to pay $50 for that type of game. If it's a full-on experience game like Mass Effect 3, then yeah, I'll put $50-$60 down. But guess what? I've already played it. It's already been out. And the games that they're pushing coming out, Assassin's Creed 3 being the most relevant one right now, I can get that on my Xbox or my PlayStation and save myself $300. And then say in a year I'd still want, they actually start rolling out stuff that actually intrigues me on the Wii. You said that price cut will come in next year, then you know what? I'll wait to see what the next consoles have in store. Because right now they can do the same games that the Wii U does. I just, like you said, it's got some nice little features where you can maybe, you mentioned Resident Evil, you know, getting an herb to regenerate health, changing weapons, map, that type of thing. But honestly, that's not worth $300 to me. The experience is really not changing that much to me. And I truly do believe with what Microsoft showed with Smart Glass, the way they use like Madden, for example, with the playbook, I don't see me having to have a need for the Wii U. So
see, this is where the Wii U will have Microsoft and even Sony beat if they try to jump into it. Is one of the main things that's going to kill Smart Glass is the fact that that second screen is off to the side somewhere, or you have to find somewhere to put it. Like a lot of people, if you're sitting on the couch, you're most likely going to have it sitting on the couch next to you. So it's almost like a third or a second controller that you have to fiddle with, whereas with the Wii U, it's already in your hand. I think that's where the Wii U is going to have them beat. Like they may be able to offer the same experience, but or they may be able, not the same experience, they may be able to offer the same features, but the experiences are going to be totally different. Same thing with different phones and computers. You may get they may be able to do the same task, but one will give you a better experience than the other one. And I think that's where the Wii U will have them beat. But keep in mind, the Wii U's definitely not for everybody, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm definitely not saying that. There's going to be people who, like, my thing is, if you already own a Wii, buying into the Wii U is going to be the cheapest launch that you'll probably ever go through. I mean, granted, we haven't heard what Microsoft and Sony are going to do, but Microsoft and Sony are clearly ready to dig into people's wallets something crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if you won't be able to use, because right now with the Wii U, you can use the same infrared sensor if you still have it. You can use your same Wiimotes. You don't have to go out and get any more Wiimotes. It comes with the tablet controller. So anything that you have on the Wii is already ready for the Wii U.
And it's
granted, the games won't use the dual. Well, I don't know how they'll do the whole dual screen.
It's funny you bring that up though, because that's where I was going to transition into the other side of the argument when we move toward the casual gamer.
Right.
Where we all know that the first Wii has captured that market, and that's where they have grown with success. Right. You've heard it, and people want, and I think they've tried to listen. That's why they're trying to push more hardcore, because Nintendo did lose. Maybe not the Nintendo hardcore fans, but more the hardcore as a whole gamers, because they didn't see the need for a lot of those things, and they heard the gripes, and that's why I believe they're pushing for this. But let's stay, we've covered that. It can go, like you said, many different ways. But as of right now, we can only look at what they've shown with the past right now with the Wii, and with the casual gamer. How are they going to capture that? How are they going to keep their momentum going? And what you just mentioned, being using the same accessories and peripherals that you have with your original Wii, I agree that it is phenomenal. If Sony says, hey, you can use your DualShock on your PlayStation 4, I'm going to do a backflip. Break my neck, but I'll do a backflip, because save $50 right there. You know how some of us are. We got 3 or 4 of those things. But we all know that's probably not going to happen with Sony and Microsoft. So that is good. But that's where the question comes in. Okay, casual gaming. Their main selling point for this new system is once again the tablet controller, and you gave the example of being able to sit in the room with your wife so you can play it on the screen. Your daughter can play it while you're watching the football game, that type of thing. I agree, that's great. Also can get them a DS, a Vita. I understand not the exact same games, maybe not yet. Now that Gaikai kind of might do stuff, but that's a whole nother episode. But anyway, staying on track. To me, right now, right at launch, the Wii is only able to use one of those gamepad tablet controllers. They did specify that down the line you will be able to use two. Just two, not three, not four, just two. One issue I have with that is this was a family console. Nintendo has been the family company with the Wii. It's bringing 4 or 5 people together doing this type of thing, having fun. And I understand that, yes, we can use the Wiimote still. Yes, we can still use the old classic controller, that type of thing, to bring everyone in so you can still play with 4 players. But Grandma and Grandpa, if my grandma and grandpa want something to where they can do yoga with the Wii Fitness board, to where they want to watch their body weight, I don't know. My mom wants to do Zumba and the dancing games. My mom's going to say, okay, well, what's the difference between the Wii and the Wii U in the games that I'm going to play being a non-gamer? Stuff like the fitness and the dancing games and those types of things, those markets, as they demonstrated at E3, still uses the Wii balance board, still using the regular nunchuck and Wiimote controller. The only thing they had to use with the tablet was another way to look at your, I guess your heart rate and body fat index and stuff. But to me, if I'm focusing on a screen, on the TV, or whatever, I don't want to be looking down at any device. I'm sure you can attest to that. When you're running, last thing you want to do is have to be doing stuff on your phone. So to me, if my mom says, okay, well, I can get a Wii for $100 and pretty much have the exact same experience, I'm just going to do that. I don't need the newest, biggest thing because I'm not going to use those things. Grandma and Grandpa, the ones they put in the old folks' homes for helping them get on their feet, they're not going to buy the Wii U because they don't need to spend that extra $200 when it does the same experience, because they're not going to use those other features. And this is where I think Nintendo has tried to cover both grounds, and they've kept them too separated. Because even the more family-oriented games, say, D, you got daughter and kids over, or, I'm babysitting the neighbors or something. I got 4 kids over. 2 of them get the Wiimotes, and 2 of them get the new fancy controllers. That ain't gonna work. Kids don't take turns. It's not gonna be a happy experience. I mean, it could be the other way around. They might prefer using the Wiimote over the thing, but I don't know. But to me, that's already an issue there when you're dealing with kids. 2, the experience is going to be different then. One person, if you're playing, I don't know, let's say you're doing one of the sports games, a track and field event. If you're doing a running, and you're all supposed to be sprinting at once, you're all going to be needing to hold the motion controllers and the nunchuck, all 4 of you, to do this. So then, what are you playing? You're playing a Wii, not a Wii U. Then you can say, okay, well then they can switch off. You can do 2 and 2, so that the people with the Wii U remotes don't get left out. But then once again, you're beating around the bush. You're not actually using what your main focus of selling this console is. And to me, that's where I think it's a little too confusing as to what direction they're trying to go. They're trying to satisfy the hardcore by bringing it up to par with current gen consoles now, making it HD graphics, bringing bigger games like Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect onto it. Great. And they're still going to try and cover these casual games by using the motion, the fitness boards, the things that won them this market share last generation. But to me, those casual people don't need this new thing. The hardcore people don't need this new thing, because what they have right now will satisfy the same taste, and in the future, the new hardcore consoles will do that as well. The hardcore Nintendo guys will always get it. and I can't say nothing against that. You know, good, go for it. You know, they got great games, but that's where I just think them dominating the market last time around will be a different story this time. I do obviously think that they're playing it smart coming out a year early. I do think they're playing it smart by, like you said, they'll drop the price next year to compete with the new consoles coming out. They'll push, oh, well, you don't need to buy new controllers because you can use these ones. They'll suck people in that way, which is great. But I just don't think it's going to open up as many doors and avenues as it did, because before the Wii, there was no such thing as casual gaming. It was more of arcadey style gaming. You know what I mean? Just pick up and play type fun. My mom and dad wouldn't play a game, but now, last Christmas we were playing Just Dance 3 or something like that. I know my grandfather was actually getting a kick out of it doing the golf with the motion and stuff like that. So, but those markets aren't going to be drawn into this. Mommy and daddy buying it for a 4-year-old son, he's not going to know any difference. Ain't going to buy the $300 console when they can get him a $100 one, which is going to essentially do the same thing, because one, he's not going to be advanced enough, and two, he's not going to know the difference to utilize this new selling point being the controller. So I especially, and I still say it again, I love the fact that they're doing the being able to play on the screen to go. Now, there was some confusion there whether it was going to be over infrared or Wi-Fi within your home network. I believe we found it was the home network, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, that's a lot better. But the fact that this thing is single touch, I don't even know the last time I touched a single touch device. Like, I'm thinking old time cameras. If I want something with a neat experience where I'm kind of like, you know, maybe having to hold it up here, but I'm having to like draw stuff on the screen or something like that, single touch is not that innovative. It's not that broad to open different ideas, because I think that if you had something up where they showed like the WiiU, Zombie U, where they're just doing the zombie face, say they're coming up with a coloring game for kids, and single touch will be perfect for little kids. I understand that completely. But certain games and certain things, as you know, whether it's on your iPad, whether it's on your iPhone, whether it's on any touch device like the Vita, single touch will become a problem. Maybe it's not right away. Maybe it might be nitpicking for certain people. It's not a problem. Some people it will be. But I just think that is holding back some developers as well, to where they could utilize that controller in more ways that way. It's just something, I know it's going kind of away from what the argument was, but it's something that just bothers the crap out of me. It's just make it multi-touch. What isn't multi-touch?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that helps them to cut costs. I don't know if they have to pay patenting license agreements for that. The single-touch tablet screen, I don't think that's really too big of an issue. As far as the casual market and the hardcore market and people buying into the system, when the system first launched, the casual gamers aren't the ones that are pre-ordering the Wii U. The casual is the people that basically sold out all the pre-orders are hardcore Nintendo fans. The casual gamers, they're not. You'll have a few casual gamers that'll buy into it in the beginning. For the most part, you're not going to see most casual gamers probably buy into it until like a year after the fact. Mm-hmm. As far as the features go, I mean, you're definitely getting a brand new experience. You have Nintendo TV, where and nobody's been able to get this, not even Microsoft. No matter what cable provider you have, will be able to connect to Nintendo TV. What Nintendo TV is you'll be able to watch live television on your TV screen, on the gamepad. Specifically in this example, you can watch live television on the gamepad while you're looking for different TV shows to watch. You can rewind, fast forward, all of that stuff right from the Wiimote while it's either playing live on the gamepad or while it's playing live on the television. They have, you know, all the typical video forms of entertainment: Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu Plus, YouTube, and all of these applications they have stated multiple times are going to take advantage of that second screen. How will they do it? I mean, we'll all have to wait and see. They have video chat with the built-in camera that's on the gamepad. So you'll be able to, call, different Wii to Wii in real time, real live, in real time videos. And they're saying it's going to be like a calling system where it actually will call the console. They're bringing back the web browser again. The web browser you'll be able to view on the television or on the gamepad. It will act as an actual TV remote if you don't want to use Nintendo TV. It acts as a remote for your television. They're using NFC, which a lot of people complain that the freaking iPhone 5 didn't have. So they're using that. And then they have backwards compatibility. So, I mean, this is a brand new console. Some of the gaming mechanics may not change, but I don't think that's really too crazy of an issue, honestly. Again, this is a console for hardcore Nintendo fans, but casual gamers as well. And I think that this time around, I have to be fair to Nintendo. I can't say that, oh my God, look at the changes that Sony has made with the Vita because they went out to developers and asked, like, what do you guys want? Nintendo did the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that Sony did a good job and then knock Nintendo. Like, Nintendo has done an awesome job. They came from having a plain bare bones console to offering Nintendo TV, which will work with any television provider you have. Not even the Xbox does that. Xbox is only FiOS and Xfinity, and Sony is nobody. So then you have the whole video entertainment where you're getting all the streaming services and the video chat, the web. So they have literally stuff, and that's only a few things. I haven't even went into the Miiverse, which their online network has gotten better as well. So it is a jump from the last console. Just because you're able to use the same peripherals shouldn't knock the upgrade that you're getting. Again, it's not going to be the most powerful or visual upgrade that you've ever seen, but again, this is Nintendo. That's not what you would expect from them. So I think they're going to be just fine. As far as sharing the tablet controller, I definitely understand where you're coming from when you say that kids fighting over it, and that most definitely could be the case. But I mean, what don't kids fight over? I mean, I've seen kids fight over crayons, markers. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have something that they want, they're gonna fight over it. But at the end of the day, that's where parenting comes in. Hey, share. You gotta share. It is what it is. There's only two. Sorry, you didn't get it first. But, I mean, developers could also make it a way to where it's fun as well. It could be fun to use a tablet screen. It could also probably be funner to use a Wiimote. So it all depends on the experience that they're providing to the end user, being the child or parent or whomever. It could be like a game show where the parent is, the mediator of the game show. So the parent has the tablet and the 3 or 4 kids have to use the Wiimotes. So, I mean, I definitely think that... I honestly don't think they're going to have any issue at all. I think you're going to see a crazy amount of Wii U sold. Will it sell as good as the Wii? I mean, that only time will tell. But for the most part, the potential I can definitely see is there. Nintendo has definitely taken a step in the right direction, especially when it comes to their network side of things. The only thing that I have to knock them on their network is the Wii codes. I heard that they're bringing those back, but supposedly they're not as extensive as they were before. But again, they understand that it is more of the younger community that is on their console, so they're taking, the proper precautions to protect them, piracy laws. So I understand it, but for us older gamers that are adults, it does, it does kind of suck. But I think Nintendo's going to be fine. I think sometimes people don't give them enough credit for what they're doing. That's why I had to show my face in this video. But I really think Nintendo's going to be okay. Again, these casual gamers like your mom, so on and so forth, initially, they're not going to... Again, the Wii didn't blow up from commercials. The Wii blew up from word of mouth. And that's going to be the same thing again. It's going to be the same... Because your mom's going to be like, well, Susie at work said she's able to do this on the Wii U. Can I do that on my Wii? No, Mom, it only works on that one. Well, she's upgrading now. So, and by that time, that's when the next consoles are coming out, which the price is cheaper. So, I think you're gonna see their strong push is gonna come in 2013. which is about this time next year, that's when you're going to see their sales numbers going through the roof how it was before.
And I can agree with you on that 100%. Completely do with the fact that right now, this first year, it's going to be hardcore Nintendo fans and hardcore gamers. And obviously, you know, you can still get the casual as well, but like you said, right now it's going to be the Nintendo guys picking this up for certain Nintendo games. And I do agree. I think next Christmas, that's when they'll put their money where their mouth is and really, one, drop the price, push things toward that casual market to try and draw those people in with the newer, lower price. And I agree, that's when they're going to try and take a stab at Sony and Microsoft at that point. Gathering from what you said, I do agree. I'm very interested in seeing Wii TV. That is something that is very intriguing to me, just being a media guy in general, whether it's from TV to whatever. And the carnival stuff they showed and all the whole online networking with their social, being able to help each other out play games and the voice chat, a video chat, that's just very interesting as well. It's very intriguing. But that's also where I got to see it. I got to get my hands on it, and I got to play it. And that's where Nintendo and Sony are really in the same when it comes to me, where they can have some of the best goddamn ideas. But if they don't execute it, I don't want it.
And well, you're getting a PS3 no matter what. Don't put up that front.
Well, I agree. I know that.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Okay, they caught me on that one. But but to go with certain these features, like say Sony. I mean, me and you, we're not really get on Sony's back here too much, but me and you were pumped for Home way back in the day. The idea of Home, the thought of what it could be, phenomenal. I don't know what you're showing.
Oh, it's just a Nintendo Wii U.
Oh, okay. Got you. I would figure out Google Hangouts and play a video, but you can look at my ugly face instead. But Home was very intriguing.
The best next-gen console, bar none.
Now you know you're off your rocker.
Bar none.
Now you
PlayStation 4 or Abyss and the Xbox Fire Dragon won't touch the Wii U. As far as graphics, it's the most powerful console on the market. The tablet is better. It competes with the iPad.
Flame Wars begin, please. Is Twitter? No, but in all seriousness, I do think they are doing a lot of things correct, and there are a lot of things there that could draw me in. Right off the bat, I'm not seeing it yet. I don't think you're seeing it just yet, and you're holding out. My brother's the same way. He was originally going to get it right away, but he's more getting it for a couple games. But if some of these other, like you said, word of mouth comes out that, hey, this whole new Wii TV thing's awesome, shit, there you go. Then, you know, it might be easier and quicker than me booting up my Xbox to use an NBC app or an ESPN app when it can just all be boom, it's all right there. Like you said, Fios and Xfinity are the only ones offered on Xbox currently. So, leaving it with Nintendo, we brought up a lot of good points on both sides. D definitely put me in line. It comes with different stuff. They're bringing up stuff that I wouldn't even have mentioned, being Wii TV. But I think a lot of it will come down to the developers, and that is one thing that Nintendo has always been good at, is having a good arrangement with their developers to push content in the right direction and make it understandable and easy to access for different genres of gamers. As long as the developers deliver, there will be more intrigue and there will be more content there. But we can only also, time will tell. We see what it's like at launch, and then we can also compare it to what the next round of Microsoft and Sony products decide to do whenever they decide to pull the curtain and let us know what the hell's happening. So anyway, whoever's checking out the Wii U, hopefully this is insightful and helpful for some of you guys, because maybe you're like me, and from the very beginning you only saw some of the negative, but then DLB pointed out Wii TV, some of these other features, and putting it into its perspective of where, yeah, right now this is what we got, but the developers can take it in so many different ways. Or
especially with that dual screen, man. That dual screen, I'm trying to tell you, I can't think of anything right now in particular, but that dual screen is definitely going to come in handy, especially with, because we're just, we're just thinking gaming related. Like,
Right.
imagine like these third-party applications because they were talking about doing games like checkers. I
Mhm.
actually remember the video where they were
They
showing
showed it.
somebody was playing checkers, and so just imagine the different things they're going to be able to do with that second screen. So I really think the sky's going to be the limit with
Mhm.
that. So and who's to say they won't get Skype on the Wii?
I wouldn't doubt it. At this
So
point, I wouldn't doubt it. They might, like you said, them showing off that chess, Skype. I mean, Wii TV is already a big example of bringing in third-party things. They showed using different applications, whether it's going to come with the standard stuff that we're all familiar with, Netflix, Hulu. Who knows where they can take it? And that's where time can tell. But as for right now, hard to say. And that is why I'm here to show one side, D's here to show the other side, and then we can also give comparing and contrasting views on a lot of things. Because actually, you know what, D, you actually made me a bit more interested in the damn thing than I was when I first sat down, so screw you.
hey man. Well, I would like before we get out of here. I appreciate you, US, for bringing me on. Thank you guys for watching. As always, follow me on Twitter, DLB23, and the website DLB-network.com. I had to throw that cheap pop in there.
Oh no, I was gonna say, hey, you got some shout outs, you gotta do your Twitter. I was gonna put you up. But
Shout
hey,
out to U.S. Army, man. Shout out. It's our first video together. Can you believe that? All these years.
yeah, we've just done the podcast. We've talked on different things when it came to articles and videos separately, but yeah, we've never done a dual thing like this. I think the only one I actually had was with Snake. I was wearing a suit. It was a formal review. Anyway,
So many jokes, man. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna let Snake live. Leave him
poor
alone.
guy, poor guy. Hey,
Congratulations to Snake, though. Shout out to Snake. You got a new job.
I'm gonna say shout out to Snake.
Yeah, he's
Congratulations on the new
finally
job.
he got a new he's actually giving blowjobs for a living now. So congratulations on getting a job to give a job.
He's really good at making that solid snake. Oh shit. This is why it's called the Gamers Rant. It's raw, it's uncut, it's explicit. I'm sorry. Snake, we have. You go back to the podcast years ago. This ain't no different.
Wow, I can't believe what I just heard. This episode definitely isn't meant for the casual gamers out there, the little baby gamers.
No, mom and dad, show young Timmy right now. U.S. Army's here to show you why you should not get a Wii U. But in all seriousness, Snake, congratulations, man. Way to go. Shout out to, once again, first you, DLB, for everything that you brought together from back in the MySpace days to the podcast when it was just you. Then it was to the website, bringing us all on board, knowing us guys for over 6 years now, going 7 years, something like that. So going strong. So like he said, follow him on Twitter. Check out DLB-network.com. And also be sure to subscribe to the podcast, the DLB-network official gaming podcast, where you will see us come out a few times a month. Lots of good stuff on there. Make sure you stick around for Uncut so where Snake can get some more heat. It's all good. And as always, shout out to the rest of the DLB Network crew. Can't be here without the rest of y'all, obviously. And shout out to my brother. Follow him on PlayStation Network, Professor_B. And you know what?
Which stands for Professor Bitch. That's what it stands for.
He's
That's
a
why
little
it's Professor.
It's the Professor Bitch. But anyway, shout out to my girlfriend. Hey, you know what? I got to say this. Put me on the spot for bringing up my girlfriend on the show, but you know what? Got her a Vita a couple months back. This girl never played a video game in her life, had no interest in it, but she wanted things for Netflix, Skype, all that little stuff, because we got a good deal on it. And she starts playing Montezuma Blitz, first little easy game. She's always been intrigued and heard about the Uncharted game, so I let her play Uncharted on the Vita. This girl beats this game in 3 days. I would call her and be like, hey, what you doing? She's like, I can't talk right now, I'm playing. What did I just do? So now she just bought Little Big Planet. She's been playing that. and she just pre-ordered Assassin's Creed. Shout out to her.
You've created a monster.
I have created a monster, and you know what? She's competitive too. She likes beating my scores down too. So shout out to her, and most of all, shout out to the rest of the gamers out there that follow the whole network. Me from the beginning, DLB from the beginning, and being supportive and all that good stuff. So be sure to follow me on Twitter as well. Ask me questions, ideas, comments about the future shows, how we handled this one, or any topics like that. Because you know what, using this Google Hangouts thing's great. We might be able to bring some more people on more often.
So if I wanted to ask you, exactly what I was getting ready to say. If I wanted to ask you a question on Twitter, who would I send that to?
You know who it is. Everyone knows who it is. I mean, I walked through the park and people yelled out, "Is that U.S. Army?" Yeah. But the sad thing is I'm not the only one that's happened to. We all know who else has done that. But follow me on Twitter at @THE_US_Army. Like I said, let me know about the show, any future topics, questions on there, and all that good stuff. So, on behalf of the DLB network, I am US_Army, and that is DLB. We appreciate it